speaking here.
Call the meeting to order. Start with our pledge flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll open with a few remarks from me. Appreciate your tolerance of it. Tonight, well, first of all, we're going to let you know that Anthony is having a family emergency, so our engineer will not be with us this evening. We do have his report. From there, I want to take, first of all, since we just did the pledge, let's just take a moment of silence for those that have given their lives already in our conflict, and pray for the other ones that are to be saved. A few moments, please. Thank you. I know we're all worried. So as of, I promised everyone that I would bring them a treat every meeting. This time I did it a little different. We have cans of baked beans and pork from Hanover, a local supplier and employer. And we'd like you to all take one of those home, or two, whatever is appropriate, whatever you think you're gonna consume. But also, if you don't think you're gonna consume them, I have a list of 20 food banks in the local area. I would love for you to please take it to them. Hopefully that's an incentive for you to participate in their involvement. Next week, next month, it'll be a treat. I thought that might be fun for once too. Hey, okay. People ate them afterwards. Okay. So, I also wanted to talk about celebration for the last month here that I've seen. Centers more around people that were participating in the snow events again and helping all their neighbors. So it's a great thing to see everybody come out and help everyone. We have a little bit more report on that. I even noticed some of our state troopers trying to literally push out an accident victim car by hand. So thank you for them, you know, instead of taking them away in chains, which he might have, should have done. They helped. And then from there, I think that's, you know, we've had numerous, and to help thank all the people who have stopped for those accidents in the square. I've seen a lot of citizens on the tapes and that type of thing coming to aid. The first accident and the first pole, I was the first one on the scene by happenstance. I happened to be going around the square. So, but there was already somebody else.
At midnight when I was there.
You were there on the midnight one? Well, I wasn't, it was much less involved than that one. That one didn't take out a bench.
Well, yeah, it did. She hit the bench.
No, mine.
Oh,
First one.
It just really moved.
Okay, and then the only other thing that I'm going to talk about here just real quickly is we're gonna try to expedite some of our voting. It's known as unanimous consent, and I will talk about that more before we start, where it's just basically, if there aren't any objections, we keep them going. We don't have to go through seconds voting. Just on little matters that are maybe less trivial, or we've already think we all agree. And the explanation of that is best to say that if anyone objects out of the group, our group, that it just goes back to vote. Simple as that. It's not unanimous, it's not unanimous, but it can save a little time for us all. Like I said, I'll read more about that to you later. From there, our next part of the evening is executive session, which means we're going to depart your presence and deal with some private matters with the personnel.
Everyone has to stand up for how many now? Okay, Beth was first.
It is providing entertainment.
I could go an hour.
Alright, so the last time what I did.
Meanwhile, grab
was
some
I-
cans.
The last time what I did was I turned it off and then I have like an app that will splice it together. Yeah. So it's continued.
Will I ride?
Hey, can we stop talking about this now?
We talked about cats all the time. You guys aren't that important, we talk about cats most of the time. 3/4 of the conversation was about pork and beans and cats. Don't overvalue yourself.
Did you take your pork and beans?
Daggone right I did. Lunch tomorrow. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, good. Take
It's
two.
gonna be a good lunch.
There's a whole other case in there, okay, guys?
Oh, yeah.
You don't get them to the food bank, I
All the
am,
people
but I
with
want
kids
you
are-
to go and show support too, please.
That's gonna be glorious tomorrow.
Got a number of people that don't seem to have signed in. I guess if you really don't prefer to talk, you don't need to sign in, but we would appreciate you signing in very much. Okay,
I knew you were leaving.
so we're gonna call the meeting back into session, outside of the executive session. Thank you for your tolerance of us. And, we're going to go into approval of minutes from February 2nd.
I move to accept the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, the minutes have been motioned and seconded. All those in agreement, please say yay or yes.
Yes. Yes.
All those opposed? Okay, we'll set the meeting minutes the way they are written. Thank you. From there, we go to public comment. So we'll reiterate the 5-minute rule, and until we've gone through everyone, no one gets to go again if we need to for any reason. I can go in either in the order that you came in, or if someone has a particular ants in their pants, let's wait right away, let's go. Anyone have a public comment this evening?
Todd, you speak? No.
You're the only one with ants. And I'm talking ants.
Nice podium, Dan.
You should repaint that.
Red, white, and blue. Good evening, everybody. Thomas Miltonbaum Jr. for myself, my wife, and Liberty Farm. Good evening. I have an update tonight on the York water situation for our farm at 5 North Spruce Street. For a few of you that don't know the background, I'll be very brief. We've been trying to get York Water to reconnect public utility water to our farm since we purchased the property about 2 years ago. They have refused and used many, a list of excuses, starting with several declarations that everything on their end was intact and working. This caused us to install over $4,000 in new lines from the York Water meter and pin to the barn. They continued with these lies, such as the line being dug up and removed, through a whole list of things. They finally landed on their last and final reason, being that the pipe was an original 1929 transite asbestos water line. After the solicitor's 9/8/25 letter to York Water and their reply on 9/24/25, we had an excavator on the farm doing some minor field work, and he dug a small test hole on our property. He discovered that the line was not a 1929 asbestos line, but it was indeed a modern ductile iron line, 4 inches as the engineer had mentioned that it was, and it was a modern line, keeping in check with what the original York Water contractor said. He was there to turn it off for my father. When he came back to turn it on, that we were lucky to have a modern line. So we've completely disproven that that is a trans site asbestos line. We have a sworn statement by the contractor who saw that. This validates their sole reason now for reconnecting our water and puts them in violation of Pennsylvania Public Utility Code, especially on the duty to serve clause. We'll be addressing that with our final public utilities formal complaint, which we'll be filing this week. It should end this argument. Now they have no reason not to reconnect our water. So I'll be making that in the mail this week. I'll also be making the donation and payment at the next meeting that I was coerced into doing to get that letter written. So I'll be having a nice gift for the Borough of Jefferson in April to match the solicitor's time that she put in for that.
You volunteered, not we didn't coerce.
You wouldn't do it without me paying, so yeah, that's coercion. My last point today, our 250th birthday celebration. I had grandiose ideas of a 24-hour party on the farm through my wife's common sense, and me realizing how much work that would be. We're gonna have a much smaller party, but we'll be hosting an old-fashioned, family-friendly community event on Independence Day, July 4th, 2026. We will have music. We've already booked our first musician, old-fashioned games, a cakewalk, things like that. The fire department is gonna have a cast iron kettle of old-fashioned soup. We just committed to a children's, what format is it? Jiu-jitsu demonstration on the farm, and we have a couple other exciting things. Our first committee meeting will be in April. I'll put that on Facebook. You're all welcome to come out. Any questions for me about the York water issue? So I will keep you informed, but that should be an open and shut case because it is modern line. It is not a 1929 asbestos line, and they have no reason not to reconnect us. Other than that, thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. Anyone else? Concerns, questions?
I said I'm not allowed to talk. She does the cooking.
Okay. From there, we'll move to solicitor, please. You were expecting more time with public comment, weren't
I
you?
know, well, my agenda disappeared. What did I have on there for social media or?
Data center.
Okay, so we're just gonna get into the data center ordinance. I just wanted to make sure it was still on your radar, and point out that those changes have to go in your zoning ordinance. So if you're looking at a data center change or addition, you wanna know what zone you want them to be in. And if you're changing your zoning ordinance, there are additional, advertising and notice requirements, and you have to have, a public hearing. So if you're changing one thing, I encourage you to look through the whole ordinance. If there's things that have come up, or you think, now's the time to change it if you're going to add something. Change everything at the same time, it just saves you money. And then Jeff will go into more detail about that. And then the social media policy. You had located the one in Hanover. I didn't change much in there. I just put that there. These are expectations for borough officials and appointees in using social media and electronic communication. It just emphasizes that, this is for both online and offline, and it's to treat each other with dignity and consideration. And then there's a list of guidelines to follow. I think everyone has it. Did everyone have a chance to review it? Does anybody have any questions on it?
When it comes to the social media policy, what's the difference between elected official and private citizen?
Like, your obligations?
Like if I'm just posting as a private citizen,
Oh, you can post anything you want as a private citizen. I think from a legal consideration is to just be careful in because now that you're a public official, if there's anything on your social media page that would alert the public that you are a public official, or you're representing the borough, you could be held to different standards, which is where the First Amendment protections come in. So if someone were to post something on your page and you delete it, that could be a violation of the First Amendment. If you're acting as a borough council.
Quick question then. The borough elected government Facebook page limits people, blocks people, deletes comments, and bans people. How is that not a First Amendment right?
I'd have to look at that.
The Jefferson Borough Facebook page will delete people, block people, ban people, and delete comments. So how, as a government entity we are, how is that legal? If that's like if a resident comments on the Jefferson Facebook page and someone deletes that comment, that's the same thing as a resident right now speaking in front of us and the borough saying, no, you're not allowed to speak.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for years.
As we were trained at the boot camp, we talked about that if it is the Facebook page for the borough, then it's wise, it's a good, best policy not to have people post. Not to, it's supposed to be a page for information to the residents, not for anything else, not an opinion page, not a page where people can add their own information.
A lot of
That's the way it
municipalities
is set up
Yeah.
to do that.
A lot of municipalities are not allowing comments anymore because you can remove comments under certain scenarios where there's obscenities and profanities, things like that. But now it's better just to turn off all comments so that you don't have to make that judgment call.
But isn't that an
So-
infringement?
No, so that
To turn off
everybody is
comments?
blocked.
No, you can, that is not, because you're treating everybody the same. If you remove one comment that is and that's not obscene or, there's a standard for when you can remove comments. If you remove one person's and not another, then there could be an issue. But if you're treating everybody equal across the board, then that's not a violation of the First Amendment.
So, we're gonna move forward and look at the, this is just an agreement. It also states in here, Jason, to express some of your stuff on the sides of expressing yourself personally, that it just, say that when you post, that it's my personal opinion. If I wanna go post something, I can go post something and say, hey, this is how I feel. I'm not representing myself as the Borough Council President. You know, although that'd be a little harder probably for me to do. So, first of all, I don't have a Facebook page, so it's not a problem. Okay. I think I'm looking for a motion to accept this as our policy, and that we'll print these out for, all members of this group and our other public entity groups to be part of, meaning the zoning board and the planning board and the, I think we can impose it onto the sewer authority as well. So, do I have a motion to accept the policy on social media for elected officials and appointed members of public bodies?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We've had a motion and a second. Are there any questions or further comments?
I do have a comment. On the back of the first page, it says, "The postings on this site are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the borough." The reason that's an important statement on your own personal Facebook page is because if we have our own Facebook pages and we say something that reflects badly on the borough or can get the borough into into legal trouble, at least that statement tells us that you're not speaking as a borough official. And I think that's so important that we keep that, if we don't put it on a Facebook page, keep it in our head. That the whole borough, the government of the borough could be in jeopardy if the wrong things are put on public Facebook. So, I think it's an important thing.
Other okay. Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
Do you have to sign this? Do I have to?
There's nothing that requires you to. I mean, there's no penalty.
There's more, shall we say,
But legally, do I have to?
I don't think you legally have to sign anything, you know, but I think you're gonna put yourself more at risk.
No, because I've never posted anything that can get me in trouble.
A lot of people in jail have said that too.
Well, I'm not a criminal.
I didn't say you were, I'm just saying that. You know, sometimes we just don't even realize what we're doing. Okay. So,
So our vote is to accept this as a policy for the borough, and that we individually would sign it.
yes, we'll have the policy printed and for signature. It's got signature, we've got a signature page prepared for this, that's ready for this, but this is the policy.
There's a page for you and Connie to sign, and then
As
a
policy.
separate, yeah.
Yeah, and then for each, as the policy gets distributed, for each one of us to sign and be elected. Okay, so, all those in favor of accepting the policy on social media for elected officials and appointed members as written, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
We have 4 in the favor, 1 opposed. Motion carries. Yeah, I know. Okay. We have one other thing while solicitor was present. We got, last meeting, we were presented with several proposals that I put in front of all of us, hopefully to think about what our path might be forward with current council, the ability that we may not be able to keep the individual, Devin, who after meeting, but maybe someone of lesser experience with Devin's help proposed, or soliciting other groups, or moving the evening. I think those were the 3 kind of things. So let me do this. I'm gonna say that I don't think we wanna consider a different evening at this point. Would that be, anyone object to not even considering that?
I don't understand what you're asking.
Sure, I am asking that, we have 3 different proposals, all right, kind of scenarios.
Proposals of,
Devin's change and CGA's relationship with us.
so you're saying we could change our meeting date to help and keep them?
Well, to have somebody with experience.
Experience, not necessarily Devin.
I don't think we should take someone lesser experience. I don't.
What day would be the day?
I don't know, because it would depend on, everybody has schedules with their meeting dates, so I'd have to go back and see who's available and what days to propose that to you. We did just hire an attorney from the county that worked in the county solicitor's office, so he has government experience. I thought maybe he would be a possibility. I don't know that he has the same number of years as I do, but he has, you know, he didn't just graduate, so, you know, he might be a good fit. But I know he's already, for the first Monday is, we have a number of meetings that night, and so that's why it's so difficult to find somebody for you. So that's why I said it, if you change the meeting night, I could find somebody that has more experience.
So I would be open to looking at that.
Okay,
There's nothing magical
right.
about that we meet us on a Monday. It's just, we're all used to that, and we always have. And I don't know if we have documents that say that we should meet on the first.
You'd have to change
to
your
look at that.
your advertisement.
For this year.
Yeah.
How long do we have you for?
Well, I didn't put a deadline on it,
Because
but
originally when we talked, we were going to stay the year.
yeah, I would like to transition. It's just, my night commitments are, it's just a lot. I mean, I talked to all of you, about that, but, so I would rather sooner than later, but, you know, like I said, if you have somebody else and you have something going on, or it's a public hearing or something, like I can be here for certain things as needed. But I would like to transition sooner.
So if we did this scenario of, let's just say, we're leaving Monday, you put a less experienced person, you would still be overseeing that
Yeah.
person? Possibly even available if needed?
Yeah.
Like, you know. And I thought that might be a happy medium, and that we should also go ahead and look outside. I mean, we should explore our options. We're not, you know.
You could put, and, you know, I don't wanna give away business, but you could put an RFP out and just see who responds and what their rates are. I mean, you never, maybe you get a better rate.
And I know she'll help us transition, she's already said that, if that's the way we go.
And would that just be for us, or would it include the sewer authority?
No, just for the borough.
Any other, I'm putting, before I even put it out, or whatever, make it, I'm just trying to say, where do we feel like, would, well, I just said, that scenario, does that sound like something we could take a motion?
I think so, because we've already moved for certain meetings,
Mhm.
July being one of them. We
Yeah.
have to move to another. And as long as we all knew it in advance, it would be all right. I don't have an objection to moving the date.
You feel better about moving the date, rather than taking a lesser experienced person on the same date?
Yeah, my concern is that in the past, we've had people who were much lesser.
Yes.
I agree that you should have somebody with some years of experience, and that,
As
and
long
I don't
as-
have anybody this night that could do that.
But, and they would have municipal experience, because we also had that experience when the person didn't have municipal experience. So that was my concern at the very beginning. I think it's an easy choice to move the date, for me.
Okay.
It just means it's costing us the time to
Re-advertise.
advertise, but there may be other things we have to advertise we can throw in there.
Yeah.
Save some.
I think they're all.
Do you want me to go back and figure out who's available, get some dates for you guys to look at, and a couple of names so you can look? And then if you wanna meet them, and if you're like, this is not really a good option for me, then we could put out an RFP. I mean, we could go,
Sure.
Kinda
And it
go
would
through
be
those
somebody
steps.
who would agree and want to be here. Well, which we've had that problem too.
well, I also have to gauge hourly rates too, because mine are just very low for CGA, so I have to get that information for you too, so.
But I think it's also a good idea to look at other companies, because in fact, we did use another company when we purchased the bank.
And that's within our ability
And
and
that
our
is a-
contractual agreement with her anyways.
That person is familiar, because he's the Spring Rose solicitor, so,
Oh, Peter?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, who knows? There might be people we just,
Yes.
and I did look into Seven Valleys, and they use a totally different, father and daughter, I don't.
Craley, Michael Craley,
Mike and Samantha.
yeah.
So, I mean, there's another option there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe what you wanna do is put out a request and get some ideas on what's out there. I have no issue with that. Just tell me what you want me to do and I will help to do it.
I think
The
to look
first
into
thing-
the first option of moving the date.
And you want me to find out
Who?
who can do
Yeah,
that?
would be willing and happy to come to Jefferson.
For the April. I don't think we need to vote on that, do we, Emma?
Are there any objections?
Any objections? Thank you. Okay, so we would move on to the engineer's report. I believe he has submitted it. Everyone has one.
Be careful.
Obviously, it's not as easy to go over that. Let's see if we can see some highlights. Okay, so under this report, let's see, how should we do this? Give me a moment. We have a comprehensive street plan. We also have received our local liquid fuels monies that amounted to, how much? $22,000. So that is able to be used to improve our streets here in the borough. I want to bring more of these things up with him here, so I'm gonna kind of, my intention was to ask him some questions anyways about what we could use the money for. We've gotten some of those answers about it, with signage and that type of thing that is allowed. We've got a list that is and isn't allowed. So I'd like to basically put that on a major agenda point for next meeting, and how we can handle some of those things with,
Well, and might I say, liquid fuels, we sometimes save for a couple of years.
yes.
When we have to replace a road.
Yep, that's why we're looking, like I said, he's, was trying to put some, priorities for us. And I believe that he has those written down here, and why they do them as his, or, as his priorities. And so with him not being here to be asked additional questions, that's all. Okay. The borough's property survey, yeah, he said he sent that out to YSM, which is our landscape architect for the playground. Field work has been complete, survey plans of borough, property concerns will be marked. He ran into trouble with getting the corners marked for us, and so apparently with all the snow and everything, so 3 to 4 weeks he's saying on that. He's saying here that he has these grants approved. I do know that he told me at a meeting in between that he had a meeting with landscape architect to coordinate their plans. So I was hoping to hear something back on that this evening, but that obviously isn't gonna happen either. So I'll get Yost on the line and see where she got with it.
That's in reference to the playground.
playground and their, their shared, interaction between the grants for the parking lot and the grants for the playground itself and where they meet and overlap and don't overlap, if you will. We've had one meeting about that at one point, and we're still being in limbo over which way we were going with the buildings. We left it into the hands of both of them until we decided, and now we have that decision, so that should be easily overcome now, since it's gonna remain one property and keep on rolling. Any other points or comments here with the engineer's report at this point?
Did he mention to you what the time extension letter that warehouse submitted was for?
It is for, I attended the meeting, so it, and,
Jeff?
May 20th.
yeah,
Yeah, but what is the extension for?
to resubmit,
To resubmit the plans that they already submitted?
yeah, with numerous corrections. Numerous corrections.
So just for a layperson, can you explain like what the process that happened there? They met with the engineer and the engineer found a bunch of issues and they have to resubmit things or?
More like, it was like feedback on their draft. Okay, so they submitted a plan of, this is what we'd like to do. And then they submit that to York.
York County Planning Commission.
Planning Commission, it goes to DOT, or whatever we're called here, that's Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, it went to zoning, courtesy copy went to me, and, went really back to the owner and their architect, saying, here's all these things.
So those three entities found a list of issues or things they need to change and then.
And recommendations,
resubmit.
yes,
Okay.
right.
So the document that's in the office that was open for anybody to look at.
No longer applicable.
Is totally different, going to be different because of the major changes
Yes,
that need to be done.
correct.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah. And at that point, it was still being handled in their private manner, you know?
It's not his
It's not-
borough yet, technically.
No, it hasn't been submitted to the zone, that's part of that extension now that they're asking, okay, here, we're giving you, more time. I believe it's limited to how long you had to react to their submission, and that's what they filed for an
Yeah,
extension.
and normally what happens is they submit a plan, York County Planning Commission does the review, CS Davidson does the review, the developer makes the corrections, and the Borough Council has 90 days to approve or deny the plan. And if we don't take action within 90 days, it's automatically approved. That's why I've requested the extension to go more than 90 days to go. Of course, they said we want till May 20th. Of course, we'll look at it May 20th and see where we are. Because there's a lot of things terribly wrong with the plan.
So we'll go from there.
So when it gets resubmitted on the 20th of 2026, does that get resubmitted to the planning commission? And then is that, if the planning commission, York County, and approves it, is that when the planning commission has to come out publicly for a public meeting?
All the planning commission meetings are public.
Yeah, but do they have to state the date for the meeting when they get the plans again?
Yes.
They should be advertised, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They meet monthly no matter what, or only if there's a plan?
Only if there's- only as needed.
Okay, so you just.
So it usually
add-
gets announced like here in the agenda.
I see, okay, it's a standing meeting, but then it gets announced whether there's something on the agenda.
Basically,
So-
it's canceled.
Our 90 days starts, assuming they turn something in, May 20th.
The submittal date, which was January 6th. So we had 90 days from January 6th. Had there not been all these comments to address,
Right.
we'd have had to take action within the 90
So
days.
you have an extension until May 20th.
Correct.
For them to submit.
for them to make the corrections and resubmit.
And then we have another 90 days.
Yes,
Or they could submit for another extension if
Yes.
it's not approved by May 20,
yes,
correct?
yep.
Did they sign a waiver?
They sent me a letter.
When did you say the 90 days?
Well, the 90 days would have started January 6th. But we had a meeting, February 20th, and that's, should be dated February 20th, when they asked for the extension through May 20th.
We should have them sign a waiver for that 90-day.
Even the 90 days, even though they're asking for 120?
Yeah, because the MPC required you to make a decision within 90 days. So we don't want them on the 91st day to say, well,
Okay,
you didn't make a decision, so
Okay.
it's deemed approved. So I think we worked on a waiver for something else that you had.
that was it. I
Okay,
was preparing for this,
Okay,
so yes.
so you
I-
can use that, if you wanna send me it to look at for this one again, I can look at it, but it should refer to the MPC. I don't have mine with me, but refer to the section that requires a decision be made in 90 days and say that they
Yeah, I'm gonna have that,
expressly
but I don't.
agree that
Okay,
the borough has additional time.
okay.
But
I
we
can do that.
We can, yeah.
Any other comments with the engineer? Because we've actually kind of moved into the next line yet. Okay? I have flexibility, so then begin. All right, so, then we're in zoning and planning.
Okay, permit applications for February, I received 2, issued 2, year-to-date 3 permits issued. Rental registrations, I still have them coming in. I should be starting to do inspections within the next week or 2, hoping the weather stays reasonable. Zoning cases, what hit Baltimore Street Solar Partners update, they are requesting us to release the entire surety with them. But in order to do that, at this time, they have only, done like half of the project that they were scheduled to do, and they're calling that phase 1. They're looking at phase 2 probably never happening. So they don't expect that solar farm to be any larger. So they're asking for the entire surety to be released, and if Devin and the board council is okay, we will have them submit a final formal submission of the land development plan as built. So it goes through the approval stage. Once it's approved, then we'll release the surety. That's how Anthony and I are looking at this. We had a meeting with these people like 3 weeks ago, and we talked about this. So if council's okay with that, that's the direction we'll go.
What are they going to do with the rest of the property?
They talked like they would release that back to the original owner. It was a big question mark, they weren't sure.
Well, if they submit a new plan and it shows we're only doing this, then anything else, unless it's permitted by right, they'd have to come back and ask for.
And update the plan and start the process all over again, that's understood,
Yeah.
yes.
So if they submit a new plan that protects you and that they can't just go build the rest of the solar farm, they're tied to just what's on the plan.
Is that stated? I mean, shouldn't that be stated somewhere, what they're going to do?
Well, it will be once they,
It'll just be
Submit
vacant
the
land,
ask.
right?
yeah, it'll be
It's just
vacant land,
vacant.
probably turn back into farmland. But the land development plan, once they update it and show the solar farm as built today, that should be it. I mean, they can't do anything else unless they come back and get special approvals to continue, but they talked like they were 95% sure phase 2 would never happen.
So how big is phase two? How much property?
Can't answer that. They only did about half of what they originally planned to.
Does the fence now incorporate just what they did?
Yes,
So the rest of the property is not fenced?
correct.
So is this the usual thing? I mean, it just seems creepy that that property is gonna sit there and we've already given the money back.
Well, we didn't give them, the bond that he's talking about is the construction bond, not the bond that,
Property.
to
Not
secure the
the-
property
You
to
should
get
still,
what.
the decommissioning bond should stay in
Correct.
effect. That's what protects you if they abandon the property and leave all these solar panels there. So that would allow you to get the money to remove everything, repair the property.
But they wanna lower that decommissioning bond.
Based on only a percentage of it being built.
These new, because the original owners that built this had now sold to someone else.
Yeah, there's new owners now
New
called
owner
Green
now.
Day Finance.
So
Anthony should be able to perform that analysis on what the bond amount should be based on what's built.
And he has those numbers. He didn't share them with me, but
Yeah, he should have that done.
So are you looking for a motion?
I'm just I want everybody's nod of approval that that's the direction we should go. First, get the land development plan updated as built.
And then
Then we have time to talk about all the surety and the amounts and everything.
Do we understand what he's asking?
Yes.
No money's gonna be released until we see the updated land development plan, and that could take a couple of months.
Right. So you want a motion?
Sure.
I'll make that motion, we do what he said.
You're gonna make me repeat that too, aren't you?
That's right.
Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second it.
We have a motion, and it's been seconded that we move forward with allowing them to submit a as-built for future action. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Then we hit on the J.A. Myers plan. Again, we had the meeting on February 20th with them. There's a lot of comments they've got to fix. Extension waiver through May 20th, and I will get them to do a 90-day extension for us. Waiver. And they're assuming there's gonna be a zoning hearing application submitted because of how they want to put the houses in place. It does not fit our ordinance, but they have time to work on that, so.
Well, that was the question, Jeff. I didn't think that they were going to be able to build the things, the structures as high as that paperwork said.
Well, I think the height meets our ordinance. It's the design of the structures. It's my understanding each structure that they have planned has to be on its own individual lot. And at this time, they're on one big lot. So in other words, they would need to have 80 separate lots.
And then the firemen were concerned about how far the building was from the street.
They will be involved, in a meeting regarding this.
Okay, good, thank you.
So will the sewer.
The street's width.
Yeah, and Frank says the width of the street.
Yep.
The street.
All that'll be reviewed.
They are part of the ducks and all road. Yeah.
Okay, then, I have down that the planning commission is, planning commission meeting is scheduled for March 18th to go over the data centers and the vape shop, the vape smoke shop for discussion. That's when we'll discuss any ordinances relative to the data center and the vape and smoke shops.
I do have a question regarding that, and I haven't read any of the language or anything that you guys have submitted, so excuse my.
That's all right.
Okay. How will that, include, possibly other, I know we have some ordinances with adult venues. Will it also include, since the bank would be just this perfect dispensary, will it include dispensaries?
Yes, we can make it include dispensaries.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank
And I think I have that note down on my notes to go over with the planning commission. Yes.
Yeah, the smoking vape, you can fit that in with smoking vape shops.
And also the
I
problem
thought it
that
was
York
kind of
City
cool.
ran into with having other products sold that are not vaping or smoking, things like chicken. It should be a limited type of shop.
Well, like I said, February 18th is going to be our first meeting. I'm not saying we're gonna have ordinances developed at that time. It may take a couple of meetings to go over this, but that's the start of it.
Do you have any, draft ordinances for the smoke or vape shops already, or dispensaries? I know you have the data center ones, but.
I pulled a lot of ordinances off the internet of local, not necessarily local communities, but ordinances that would fit. And I have those copied. I can try to get those to you.
You have to put them somewhere though, so make sure you find a zone that they can go into.
Sure.
Can't prohibit anything completely.
I haven't seen any for smoke vape shops, but I'm sure they exist. I was just curious if there's any draft ones.
I believe you should be able to see the York City one.
I know, and you told me that, and I didn't get a chance to look that up yet.
I have it at the house.
Oh, you do? Okay. But that's all I have for my report.
Okay,
Question regarding the, solar field, since that was on discussion. Just to clarify for residents, the solar field, where does that power go?
gets sold back into the grid.
To where? Do they tell that to us as a borough?
No. It's just.
Does it go back to local?
It goes anywhere, it's just part of the grid.
We don't have, the way I understood it is we don't have control over where it goes back to.
No, it just goes up into,
It's a private entity.
they generate, yeah, they generate power just the same as anybody else. Whoever buys it from them.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how all the utilities work.
Look, a lot of it goes to the PMJ or whatever, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Jersey Power.
Yeah, there's different units that control it, where, yeah, sure.
But there's something that was brought up,
Right.
and I never answered.
Some fields are built for specific uses, you know, like, I believe the one outside of what's Power's part of their place.
Yep.
You know, that type of thing, but
Is it,
this is not.
yeah,
Schools do it.
is it possible just to get the information from the horse's mouth? Can we know the people who own the solar farm and we can ask them? Where, like, what their answer is?
They answered that already.
The one,
When
the new.
they wanted to build it, that's why I'm giving
I
you the
know.
answer.
Yeah, I was there. To his
Yeah.
point, not everybody was there, so now they're asking, so is there somebody that we can ask that owns the building to confirm that? Or that owns the structure?
Can we ask Green, was it?
You
Green Day
can
Finance?
ask anybody anything you want.
And you get the same answer.
Sure.
I'm just, I'm trying.
Well, it's
like,
hooked into the power lines, so it goes into the grid, is what he's saying. There's
Kind
not
of
a
like
line
both
running
sides
from
of
here
the-
to a business somewhere.
Playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
If people want answers, I'm trying to help direct them to where they can maybe get an answer from. Since again, some of us were here when they made the presentation about it, but some weren't. So if they wanna know an answer, can they contact the owner and ask where
Absolutely. I have no control over that, nor do I need to endorse it. Do we need to endorse it? They may ask a private company anything they like, and then it's up to the private company to answer any way they choose. Right now, they don't even have the right address for them, so that's gotta be corrected too. I only know that because their tax bill came back to the tax collector. Okay, we had one other thing I think I'd like to get out in front of us before we leave the solicitor and engineer out for the evening, which is we are going to try to have a policy drafted and received for, let's see, what is that? I'm gonna ask for assistance on that. We're gonna have a policy on, interaction and responsibilities of keys and
Oh, access to documents?
access to documents.
Okay.
I'm drafting a policy for that, which is part of our executive meeting. So I guess I should phrase it as, we're asking the solicitor to come up with a good draft for us to consider at our next meeting for policies regarding information flow and access to property of the borough. And I would like to see if there's a second on that motion. I've made it.
I'll second
Got a motion and a second. Are there questions about that, more discussion that needs to be had? So we'd like the solicitor to move forward with that. I'd like to take a vote on it first, though. We have no questions. All those in favor of having the solicitor pursue a policy for us regarding those items? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Solicitor, please present some ideas for us to go through. Thank you. And with that, unless anyone has any objections or needs further input down through, we have many other things to go through here, but I think we can ask any of the questions of the solicitor or zoning at the next meeting. We don't have any too much with that. Any objection to that? Guess I better tighten them up.
No.
Thank you for your time tonight. We're gonna move on to the Secretary Treasurer's report, cash flow.
I move the cash flow report.
Is there a second on the cash flow?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second on accepting the cash flow report as written. I do have one question on it, and snow removal to date is exhausted, is that correct? I know that, making sure I'm understanding. The budget, that is. Obviously, there are still funds to pay for snow removal, hopefully not too much more.
That's for sure.
When you reference something, can you say the line that it's on, just so that we can refer to it?
I would like to, I'm looking for it. 432?
Got it.
Four, three, two? I don't have a 432.
It's on the.
Oh, whoops, I'm up in, I'm looking at 430, and it has these other numbers after. Well, I get it. Okay, so 432. All right, so your actual surface snow removal is, your budget's 8,000. Okay,
That's for
and,
the, yeah,
and up to February, this is include
that's
payment that just went out?
no.
Okay,
March.
so there's at least 16,000 more on that, 1,600.
Mhm.
So we have not exhausted. Is that correct?
After today's check, yes. For supplies and, or no, I guess we wouldn't, no, we're already,
Because we have 12,000 basically there.
yep,
Wages
no,
and stuff.
yep, we're good.
Okay, so we're still on some. Thank you. I thought I was hearing that we had been exhausted. We have not. Good. I think we actually were much lower than that in years past and felt a little less secure with leaving it that low last time we went through a vote. Okay. Any other questions on that? Budget versus actual and cash flow report? Okay, no other questions, I'll move, that and we don't have any objections to accepting the report, we can move forward with it. No objections?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any way, as council, we can obtain the budget report, the cash flow report, more in advance than rather than right before the meeting, have time to go over it? Cause I can't go over all this in 10 minutes before the meeting.
Sure. When do you complete those?
The day of, because that's the only way I can reconcile the bank.
It's available to us anytime during the day of the meeting, isn't it? I mean,
As long as the reconciliation, that I try to do that the first thing in the morning, because that's usually the most time consuming.
So you can come in.
Well, last meeting I requested the packet early and I was told it wasn't finished.
Well, packet wasn't, but if you request.
You know what I was asking for, Ann. The secretary knew what I was asking for.
You also asked in the morning and it was not completed at the time.
But you never notified me when it was completed to come to the office.
I didn't know.
I'm just asking, can we, I know, because I think this has been brought up by the mayor as well at the last meeting, to just have all this sent out a little earlier, that's it.
Let's bring that more up in, as we get into the communication. Okay? I hear you. I don't disagree with you that it's not a lot of time to look at this.
No, I'm just,
I just stood here and asked about the snow,
I
because I
figured
had
just
to look
a-
myself.
I figured just to ask since we were on the cash flow report, that's it.
Any other questions regarding that? Okay. So, motion's been accepted. Council email accounts update.
They were being worked on today, so they should be wrapped up, in a day or two, and I will have, instructions on how to get that all set up for each person.
And this is all firewall and all the other wonderful things that go along with IT, right?
Yes. Hence the migration of changing programs and all that stuff that they were working on today.
So we should have that in place for the next council meeting?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, but you'll probably send out information on it prior to that.
Yeah, as long as everything gets completed, it was done most of the day today, but it's not done.
Any other questions for the Treasury Secretary? Treasurer Secretary. No other questions? Authority. Sewer Authority has not met, and we'll meet on Wednesday at 7 p.m. That's normal time. Nothing has changed in any great manner. There is a agenda that should be probably out tomorrow evening. So, not a major agenda. Mostly what will go on that will be discussions about the grant money that came in, some other billing matters, and well, mostly billing matters. I'll leave it at that. The rest of that will be discussed at the meeting. So that's that report, and then we go on to the mayor's report, please.
Okay, so if you do not know, I have posted the mayor's report, extra copies up there on the table. I would suggest you grab one because I'm not gonna read through every single item on there, but they're available to you every meeting. So some highlights. One of the things that we did this month was attended a seminar on emergency management for elected officials, and Connie, Dan, myself were there. It was very valuable training. We got a tour of the facility as well, and just a lot more knowledge on what resources we have to pull from as a borough. So that's always helpful to have somebody's number in your pocket in case there's an emergency. The Valentine's Day event was really fun. If you weren't there, you missed out. There was some really fun line dancing and some polka dancing. I have listed out the upcoming events. There's a lot, so check out the Facebook pages, ask your local volunteers, but we have a lot of events going on, which are really great. So on the back page, I have recommendations for council. My new recommendation was a suggestion to review, draft, and adopt the data center ordinance legislation. So this is great because they were already working on this, it sounds like, so I did not talk to the zoning guy, it just sort of all happened at once. So I did give him, and the rest of the council, draft ordinances that we can maybe use to help form ours for future. He did already have one of the same ones that I had, so he's on it. But I think it's just good that.
Did you choose the one from the county website?
York County Planning Commission has the draft. Yep, that one, and I found another one from a township, so it's not a borough, but it's similar. We can maybe adapt it. So I could give updates. So some of the things that I had previously recommended were drafting and adopting a social media policy. We've done that today. Draft and adopt a complaint policy, perhaps something that can be future discussed with a communications committee, which I know we've been trying to launch for the last 2 months. And
Not leaving before we do.
And we had asked for the agenda for this meeting to be posted earlier. That was accomplished with this month, so hopefully that continues. Where the goal is to post it the Friday before, rather than the day of. So we'll keep notifying the public when that's available.
But it's the second of every month usually, no matter what, right?
The meetings?
Yeah.
Our
First
meetings
Monday.
are the first Monday,
Yeah.
unless otherwise stated. So we do have a couple, there's a paper up there actually on the table that has the meeting dates, because there are a couple that are not the first Monday.
Is there another building too you guys get together in, or just this one?
Just this one.
Okay.
Yep. So that, I was really pleased about the agenda. I know a lot of people were happy about the agenda part, so thank you for that, and, that's all I had.
Thank you.
I noticed you decided to marry people.
Yeah, and I was hoping you wouldn't tell people that.
It's on there.
I was trying to bypass that. So yes, I did officiate my first marriage. As a mayor, I can do that. I am not advertising that, but if somebody would ask me, I'm happy to help with that. I don't want to be the marrying mayor, no. There's already one of those, or was one of those.
we're gonna move to the committee reports, building, properties, streets, sidewalks, is with me. All right, so I've got several things here to bring you up to speed on. I've had a fabricator recommended by the engineer to come take a look at the pillars in the bank building and give his scenario and cost on that. I have not received a proposal back from that. It also will go in front of the engineer. I actually wanted him to do the design, but he had as many other things happening with him. So we can get this design from the actual person that's gonna do it. He's seen them, taken very many measurements, and is working on a scenario for us now to be completed. So we'll have that ready for us at the next meeting. As far as the sale goes, we're gonna bring that up in new business. We do have 3 proposals from realtors at this point. We'll deal with that more here in a moment. The snow removal itself has improved. We were down to really only one property that we had to give a warning to in the last snow, and all those were cleared in time, and I think we had no billing for the last ones. We've had billing for that. I will ask the Secretary Treasurer another question: have we received any payments? So that should be fun too. Now, from there, don't worry, we chase money. And the tax status, we're gonna need to follow up on that because they did issue a new bill for us again for the bank property. It is supposed to be exonerated, and it's already been requested through our solicitor, et cetera, over the last few months. Let's see here. Square repair, just so everyone knows, we're busy identifying all those that have been involved in the last 3 accidents. We have positive leads on 2, and pretty much the 3rd one is moving forward on identification. So all those will be insurance claims with their insurers. I think I've been hearing, Jason, you had some concerns that the borough was paying for that. Well, yes, the borough pays for that, but they get reimbursed by the insurance companies. That's the one question I forgot to ask. I'm looking into getting a camera fee assessed to that as well. So if that's legal, we're gonna do that as a cost, because it's costing us to pay for the cameras, et cetera, to make sure that we get the insurance claims. So well, I believe it should be something that could be included in those claims. I'll pursue it. What else? Any questions on property or sidewalks or complaints?
With this square, I think it was brought to attention last meeting that, I think it was Wendy that almost got hit. Is that you, Wendy?
Yeah, last meeting.
So I was thinking, there used to be crosswalks there that rarely faded. So I was thinking, can we reach out to PennDOT and request them to update the paint around the square?
They didn't paint it, we did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, I think we had Spring Road do it. That one? Do you
They
remember?
did the curb.
Spring Road actually did it, right? Yeah. So that's something that's, and I know we had a minor discussion
Yep.
about that, and that's part of that engineer's part and dealing with the roads, looking for additional signage. You're also correct, I mean, the observation is that I want his observations to go around with him, but I also want to say that you can plainly see that there's no crosswalk signs on the square either.
No.
So these are things, and we believe that, you know, some of our liquid fuels money can be used in that manner
Okay.
to do those signages.
Well, since they're on the main road, wouldn't we wanna see how much PennDOT's gonna?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But signage to the rest of them. But if necessary, I believe we were told
We're
before that
responsible.
we can put up whatever signs we want, but they're our responsibility. So if we'll pay for them, yeah, we can have this. But, you know, again, if that's gonna take a year and a half to get through, I just say pay them.
Understood.
I mean, signs are expensive, but they're not over the top either. Any other questions? Okay. And let's move on to finance. That's Ann, please.
Okay, well, I did want to explain why I was almost late. Maybe it was a little late. I represent the borough on the tax authority. And they had tried to have a meeting through 2 snowstorms. Each night, every time they scheduled it, it was a snowstorm. So they chose tonight, and I wrote back saying I wouldn't attend because we have this meeting. And I knew that so many groups meet on the first Monday. I cautioned them that they wouldn't be able to get a quorum. Well, I was correct. When I attend, I carry 10 proxies, different municipalities who don't send their own representative, and then I can vote for them. So there are 10 of them. So if I'm not there, that's 10 municipalities that aren't there, plus my own. So we actually had 2 meetings tonight, and the first one, that was an easy thing because they did do it on Zoom. It's optional. I always go in when I can. But so I did the first one, that was great. And then I said, do you need me to hang around for the second one? Well, they wouldn't have made the quorum on the first one if I had not been there. So I knew they needed me for the second one. So I stayed, and as long as I stayed, they had a quorum. So I left about 5 of to come up here. So I apologize for being late, but I was doing my duty for the borough. And in that meeting, and I will say that they always have a lot of numbers, you know. And one that stuck out to me, it was $3,840,448. And that was the distributions of the EIT that they had sent out to all the municipalities in the county. Each municipality gets a certain amount of that money according to population. Of course, Jefferson gets a teeny bit, but you know, we're not as small as railroads, so we're good. Anyway, they said that, and they talked about, one person asked about the effect of the shutdown that we had just had federally, and when will we see how that will impact income. And it was I thought an interesting discussion, because they talked about how, first of all, you wouldn't see that right away, of course, because it takes time till everything shakes out. And they're not expecting a big problem with this past shutdown, because it was a short period of time. They talked about the federal workforce, that in some places in the federal workforce, employment has gone down. Of course, we all know about that. People have lost jobs. But in other areas, the workforce has gone up. And so they think that depending on where you live, you may not be hit as hard as it could have been if the employment didn't go up, if they didn't start hiring more federal workers. So it was an interesting thing to know, and of course it makes a difference as to whether, like, you live in a community where they're all federal employees. Here in Jefferson, I know we have a few, but we don't have a large number of our people who are in that. So I just thought that was an interesting thing. As to the distribution of the EIT, they made a point of saying that at the end of 2025, the economy was in good order. But since that time, this 2026, everything's been flat. Now, I don't think flat is as bad as dip, but they said the economy has been flat. So they're concerned that things are not growing the way they had been growing in 2025. that the economy, earned income tax is a lagging index. It lags behind 6 months to a year before you actually see what it is. So we have to wait, but they'll have more information to us in April. So I thought, wow, that was one short meeting and I got a lot of information. They also get sent to us Saxton and Stump lawyers, and that's who Peter works for, the guy who helped us with the bank. And I just thought, these are not the kind of fees we would need them to pay, but this is what they charge for certain fees for the tax authority. And moving on to the York County Boroughs Association, because that's right next here. We do have an upcoming meeting. It's gonna be at Seven Valley, so gee, we could all get there. You have a choice of chicken or salad and soup. So, and they are going to have the guy from the animal patrol group there, and Dan Good said we're interested in meeting that person. So
SPCA, right? I think
Yes.
is on the agenda?
Yeah, he's going to be the speaker. So I know I'm going, I always go to those meetings, but anybody else I would recommend come and get your names in, because it's a small place, we're gonna be elbow to elbow for sure.
I'm gonna have to know ASAP.
You need to be registered, right?
Yes, I have to register and everyone needs to get their name.
And people ask me about when those meetings are. I sent the dates to Connie, and she's going to, is it on there?
On the back,
In the back,
on the back of the,
yeah.
yeah.
Registration for the $7 meeting, there you have it. Okay, so you can have your speakers pretty much. The to be determined, I think, is going to be Jerry Jones, who, everybody enjoys listening to talk about geology. He's a fun guy. So, anyway, I recommend you take a look at that, get that stuff on your calendar and come and join us.
Okay.
Could we email you to reserve Connie? Okay.
If you can send it by the end of the week, so I can get a check sent out.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Aaron. Lights, water, and gas. Go ahead.
I think the streetlights are finally fixed. Not totally sure about the one on Hanover Street today. It was blinking tonight.
Last night.
Well, I know last night it was blinking.
Might have been fixed.
Right, well, I had reported personally it through their website, and I didn't see it blinking while I was unloading my car. Then I went behind the church, on my way here, behind the church, that one definitely has been out, and that one was lit. One on Burns Road was lit up, it was totally out, not even blinking, that one was on tonight. And I stood out front before I came in the meeting and watched this one right out here on the corner, and it did not go out in the 8 minutes I was standing out there. So I'm hoping that maybe they finally got, because I strongly reported in the comments that this was reported over a month ago and still was not fixed. So I was hoping they would take care of it. I will go look at them again though when I leave, to be sure. So hoping that maybe that'll be the key. Have Connie report it and I'll report it separately. That way they know this needs taken care of.
And I'm not mistaken that any of the residents can call in their number, right? The number on the pole and report it.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
there's a spot online, that's how
Yeah.
I did it myself, was
Yeah.
online, you can report outages, but
Yeah.
you don't have to go through that, cause it's a long number, you can just let me know, and I can go check them out and get the pictures, get the numbers, I have no problem doing that, I've tried
Good to know
to,
that.
I'm evening hours anyway, so I do try to get out and about and check them all.
However, it's, the more complaints, the better.
Well, that is true, and that's why I'm thinking too, maybe it did get taken care of, because multiple, and like I said, I was pretty strongly worded in my comments on each poll I was reporting.
Right, we're not talking about private lights, we're just talking about the public lights.
Everyone's front porch is what I did like.
Yeah. Call the electric company, buy light bulb one. back to it.
What do they call the fire company?
Yeah, the coal fire company, I'm good. That's what we were hearing last week, last month, right?
Oh, you ought to see some of them calls.
Well, that leads us right into you then, right?
Well, for the month of February, the fire company had 35 calls, and 3 of them were in the borough. So that was there.
What was today's call?
That was a fire out at Wertz's. Fire equipment, shed fire out there. So,
Did they lose anything?
no, we were out in the back right away, so. we didn't come out. So then I see on there where she had on there about the chicken pot pie and the sausage. The sausage, you gotta have your orders in by the 13th, pick it up on the 21st. Like they have at the Dutch suppers. Sausage. But
I
it's,
try not to
Miss
cover your
Raw.
stuff, Frank. That's why I didn't list them all, cause I knew you'd do them.
what?
It's raw, it's not cooked though.
Yeah, it's all raw, yeah. Oh, that's the price down there.
And if you want it to taste like at the hall, get the cooking directions.
Well, the cooking directions will be with it.
Oh, really?
Giving away their secrets.
So that's really all I have. Well, they're having their supper again the end of the month. Where it's $5 and they give a couple dollars away back and stuff. But they had one the other month and it really went over. Had about 150 people attended that. Nice. Yeah. They have soup and hot dogs and they have this 13 jars and then people come for the drawings.
Is that the firehouse? Was it at the firehouse?
Yeah. Tickets are $5. And then it's a chance to win 10 different prizes or gift cards. It's 100, 250s, and the rest are 10s.
All for a $5.
Yeah,
That's pretty cheap.
so that's all I have, Dave.
Thank you.
Solid waste and sewer.
Yeah, I'm getting there, just not,
There's nothing.
before I move off of that subject.
I use that right now.
Old business.
All right, we got it on there. I just wanted to make sure we had it. Thank you. Yeah, solid waste and sewer. Jason?
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Old business, I think we're still waiting for the weather for the gun wheels, playground modifications. That update I kind of gave you during the engineer's report. Get more on that quickly. And then we're at the AED training Saturday dates. We were looking for some dates for our first group, and then we'll look for other dates for signing dates, but other users of the building for the defibrillator training. So, Tom has graciously volunteered that he will do time with, I guess, 2 sessions you were hoping for. And it sounded like Saturdays were gonna work best for you. And we were wondering if we could pick a Saturday in the not too distant future that we can get those things on the walls and people know how to use them. I mean, they can go up on the walls before that, they come with instructions, but that isn't exactly the best way to do it. Would anyone have any Saturdays? I know the 7th is out, because it's this Saturday, for many of us, but any other Saturdays in March that might work for you?
Does the 21st work for any, that's the sausage sale, we'll be here with the sausage, I can come up right from the fire hall,
Okay.
anytime during the day.
Are you saying it would work or?
It would work, yeah, because we're, it's only gonna be.
March 21st.
I'm good on that.
Yeah, if you're possible, right? How long a session should it be?
An hour and a half,
Hour and a half.
2 hours.
On the first,
21st works.
everybody think that works?
I'm not open, but I am certified for CPR through my work.
Okay.
So we've already had the AED training.
Great.
Not the way I teach it, though, I'll get you the
I
next
mean,
one.
I'm gonna miss out on that part for sure. The Tom
There's
training,
a little
I
bit of
will.
smoke in this one, so we'll catch you in a second.
You good with that, Frank?
Yeah, what time is it?
At least 20 minutes for you.
And how late into the morning or afternoon?
Anytime, whatever works for you. We'll be in town all day.
Frank, for you, it'd be better after the sausage or?
It's better for me after the sausage.
Yeah.
We're selling 9 to 1.
Yeah,
So-
probably won't be helping with that, probably.
1 to
Oh.
2:30 or anytime in the afternoon, whatever works for you.
Let's go for 2:30.
You saying 1 to 2:30?
1 to 2:30, oh, I didn't hear you right. All right,
So 1 o'clock on March 21st.
okay.
1 o'clock.
That could be maybe one of our first emails.
Gives you all morning to stretch yourselves out before you come up here for this.
I'm not sure it's enough time to cook the sausage, though.
Sausages are all.
It's all raw.
I gotta,
Popeye.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so we've got that, 21st.
28.
Okay. Then I believe we're down to new business. So let's discuss this here for a moment. I'm gonna look for a motion to form a temporary communication committee. And what I did is I just put some bullet points there that I'd like to cover. And I think that those bullet points can be added to or subtracted from as well. They should be in your packet. They're not in order because I put them in your packet.
I think it's at the very end.
Find it?
Mine was on the very back.
Yep.
I think that's it.
And what I'm looking for here is I would like to have a temporary committee formed. I would like the mayor to take the chair and Gwen to take participation in it, or second chair in it, and then for them to receive applicants from the general public for their participation of 2 or 3, up to them to decide whether it's 2 or 3. And what I'd like them to cover, so we all understand what my goal in forming the committee is to check out Savvy Citizen or something very similar to that, in lieu of, so it's a warning device in lieu of the non-warning Facebook and all that type of thing. So when we see something that we need to broadcast, we can do it. The fire company can do it. There's a lot of advantages to it, but I'm gonna let them come back with recommendations. I'm not saying do it, I'm saying research it. And that's what all of these things are about. Electronic billboard, it may be as simple as taking one of the new bank TVs that we now own and putting it in our window, or going into something that we can post outside, when our next meetings are and that type of thing, social events, etc. Gotta be a little careful of that, because we actually have some signage regulations that we may actually be violating now. So that's part of the next conversation. Other things are like membership ID cards, so that we've often been asked to ask people if they have permits or that type of thing. And right now, we don't have any way to identify ourselves as an official doing that. So,
So membership ID cards for the council.
yes,
Okay.
or that you're the mayor. The newsletter, how frequent, how much? Other organizations that we can look into, Ann has forwarded me, and I will forward it on to you, the volunteer thing that does not come from the council, it's other volunteers, but that can be discussed as well. I would be asking for that.
It's totally volunteer. If you're an elected official, you can't run it. You could be part of it, but you can't run it.
So, research into that, better. And this is all to come, like I said, come back through the council with recommendations that we can vote on and accept or deny or what have you. possibly pursuing a dedicated person to do the website management. Newsletter doesn't need to be done that way, to aid in the distribution of the employees' times. Community business and ads and sponsorships into things that we would be doing, like if we want to do a monthly newsletter, are there people here willing to advertise their business in it and pay for it? I said town crier. Now, what do I mean by that? That, you know, we have a designated person to do something like that. Maybe it is a hired person, maybe it's a volunteer, you know? It's just, maybe it's the mayor. I don't know, for the town
What
crier.
would you like me to cry about?
Are you familiar with the colonial town? Let's do it this way. Are you familiar with the colonial town crier?
Yes, but my connotations are all sort of negative, so I assume you don't.
So
I assume
then
you
that
don't
would
want
be an
to-
incorrect knowledge of the town crier.
Okay, thank you, please educate
So,
me.
so in olden days, before we had print, before we had social media, before they had newspapers, the way they got the point across for something happening in their village, a man would literally stand outside and yell it out. The town crier.
Or they make them tell the time, like 9 o'clock and
All is well. So, there you go.
That predates all of us.
Yes, yes, but it is a reference still used. So. Okay,
Thank you.
sure. I was thinking you probably didn't get that. Researching into video equipment and streaming and what that would take. Again, I will tell you that we have 3 televisions coming up from the bank that we could probably use in here as well to put some of these pieces of paper up in front that everybody can see and what it's gonna take to do that. From there, I've already asked for a chair, asked for the second, and from there, I'd look back for you guys to set your meeting schedules, priorities, and if it's not this meeting, then the next meeting here, ask for your applications from the community. Okay? So I went through that long thing. That's basically my resolution. I don't think it needs to be repeated. Because this is an outline. The committee is the move. So I am making a motion that we form the Communications Research Committee. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Okay. Second. Any questions about that? Any adds to the bullet points that we might want to cover? I'm telling you, this is not the end of it, just some starting points.
And they're not all necessary. They find
All right,
an
they
easier
come back with
way or
recommendations.
something that's better.
They could be negative recommendations. You may not want a town crier.
Yeah, the mayor doesn't want to get a stool and stand up on the square.
It's time to go and hear the mayor.
It's a beautiful day in Pennsylvania. If you went to Spring Road during 2000 to 2003, the principal always started the announcements like that every morning.
Any questions, any add-ons? Got the motion, second, all those in favor accepting the Communication Research Committee outline, not outline, committee. Say yay. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, new business now that I've hid it from myself. Okay, so much to our solicitor's advice, I'd like to put a motion up to discuss the methods of, and this is really more a discussion to lead maybe to a motion, please, on the codes reviews by the council. And I put that out 2 meetings ago so everybody could try to think about how we might want to approach that as a group or divvy it up. And I'm looking for any feedback from any of the council members now, and I may share some of my feedback, but I'm more looking for the feelings here, please.
But don't we have a zoning board?
We do. And what I would like to do is that we take on the review of the ordinances that we know what to send to the zoning board that we think is in conflict with either common use or out of date. You know, we have a zoning board that we could ask to sit there and review them, but what do? We need to give them an order to do that? Because it's there for them to review at any time.
I think we ought to ask what they'd like to do as far as that's concerned, because they might be very happy to go through all the ordinances. And if they don't think they have the time for it, or would appreciate help to do it, then we could know what to do and who to ask for that help.
May I ask a question? The ordinances, is all inclusive, all ordinances? So not all of them will pertain to zoning?
Zone, right, yeah.
That's true, but why don't we start with that, because that's where we're running up against things.
I believe you're correct. To our knowledge, I believe we are already running up against things that are in the other ordinances as well.
Well, things that we've talked about, like the smoke shop and
Yes.
the other
yeah.
things that we've talked about that we really wanna have settled. Wouldn't that be the kind of stuff you wanna go with them?
Yes.
But in doing so, maybe it would be wise to see where they'd like to go with it before we take it upon ourselves to do stuff.
Thought it'd be a good learning experience for us all.
Well, maybe we should all read our books, and then we'd have that experience.
Well, and that's kind of what this is coming to. And rather than saying, hey, guys, all read your books, can we maybe like divide it up a little bit? You know, and say, hey, why don't you take a look at this piece or that? They're really, in the parts that aren't zoning, are in a lot. It's amazingly small. But I hear what you're saying. And I'm glad to say that we don't need to do this now.
We have a sitting board who doesn't meet very often because there's nothing for them to do. Our mayor can tell
We
you
didn't
that,
mean it that way, you know.
but.
It was very important, the things we did do.
Yes, but they're far and few between. I just think they might appreciate that kind of work. And maybe they don't. Maybe I'm all wet about that. Maybe they wanna say, hey, you go do that. That's okay.
You
But
sit
I
on
think
the
we
zone.
gotta ask.
I don't anymore.
You don't?
I was. Faith does.
Pardon?
I know Faith does, I can't remember the other two.
I am one.
Tom, I knew there.
I never been at a meeting yet.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Those people are out
They
there,
don't
they've
have to
agreed to help,
You
and we haven't given them anything to help with. I just think we ought to ask their opinion and see what they think.
Here he is. Ask.
And I hear you loud and clear. And I agree with you that that is the task we gave them by appointing them, to be following that and stewards of it. So I'll leave it at, I'll encourage you to all read your book. Y'all have one?
I don't have a book.
Honey, does she, can you get?
That's what I'm looking up. I I should probably take everyone's book back and get it all updated.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
And how long will that take you?
Shouldn't be too terribly long. I can go on to the, go through general code and get them to do what they do. And get the updates and then put them in each book.
Well, you want the ones back from the zoning board too then? Cause that's not a real old one, was Hey, Gotta Read by Buzz Shep.
Yeah. Yeah, then I would need all of them back. Yeah.
Okay. You have all the contact information for that. Right? Zoning and development.
Yeah.
So you can ask them.
Yeah, so those who have books that are here today, make sure they come back to the office to get updated.
Okay? I don't think Jason has one yet. No.
The newbies don't have
The
books.
two.
No, yeah.
You have one.
Jim, do you have one?
I'm not sure, I have to look.
Yeah, he has
It's been a
one.
while.
He didn't
Make
give
sure
it back.
that comes
Would,
back.
did all of the council in there get one?
Yeah.
I
It's
think
a
so.
brown binder and then the other little book that goes with it.
It's a little book of one.
It's right,
Little book, I'm really wondering.
it's right there.
I don't know
Yeah, the big binder is there.
Looks
Yeah.
like that.
that.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what I have.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Mommy,
needs,
yours is
that
a
needs to
brown.
come back.
I have what you had.
It's in a spiral
Yes.
thing, it dates back into the 70s.
Yeah, it's just a thin, flexible book, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. And we should all each have one of each of them, both of them, yeah,
I just looked through the.
Zoning and ordinance is what you're.
right.
the
And
zoning
I never
ordinance
had
and
that
the
because Dave had a copy and I thought we don't need 2 copies. So I have Dave's, I'll bring it up.
So that book there has zoning and codes, in it?
Yes.
That has just about everything.
Yeah, that has the
That
whole
one's
book.
with
I
that.
had one of them.
But the zoning one is specifically just the zoning ordinance.
Do you remember the color of that?
Isn't it
It was-
yellow?
It was yellowish brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked
Now I
like
have
antique
borough
paper.
code.
Like a manila.
It's yellow.
From the 70s.
It's paper, too, it's not like
Right.
brown, it's paper.
Oh, it seemed like a spiral. Well,
But at least bring the,
that,
yeah, bring them so I can get them updated.
Okay, so we can update that, update ourselves, and talk about it more with intelligence as you run across things.
I think you updated that once since you've been here anyway, haven't you?
I don't think so. I think January was the last one to update.
Maybe.
Everything's online updated, but not the
Yeah.
physical book.
I remember David getting that updated.
Okay.
So if we
Then,
wanted to start reading, it's online.
Yes.
You can start reading online, don't wait for the book.
and you can, does everybody know where that is?
Online.
On the council? Yeah. Okay, then you don't need to send a link. Pretty easy, you have a link on our website. Yeah. All right. Now, I move that discussion on the solicitors up, obviously, so we've already had that discussion. The move of the used furniture and equipment from 6 Baltimore to 48 Baltimore. We are trying to move the small stuff independently and looking possibly for a quote for some of the larger stuff if necessary. That includes conference tables, that type of thing that we can utilize, things to improve the office space here in public use. And Todd has graciously agreed to help me open up the vault so it doesn't smell. And then we'll put a bag of charcoal in there, because I hear that's the trick. And let's see here. So from there, we're going to discuss a little bit here on the realtors' proposals. Each one of you has kind of their cover sheet from 3 different realtors. I've had 4, only 3 chose to propose. Okay, so down in here, you're gonna find a report from company known as CSDN, smaller independent out of York area, but has come highly recommended by other realtors. And then two that I think we all know well from their signage that has been around the town and throughout the community, which is Rock and Bennett Williams. Now, Bennett Williams had the bank listed before, so they were pretty familiar with it. And Rock was new to the property, but not new to the area by any extent. So we're not giving you a bunch of time here to review. And if we need more time to review this, certainly available. But my goal here is to take stock at this point and really just pursue one of them and get them going in the direction that we, have them come in, present our concerns to them. I don't view any of these as not viable. Okay, so they're all legitimate votes. Their fee schedules, pretty similar. Rock seems to be around 7%, the other two are 6%. Rock is actually, actually, if you really look at it, they're all very similar in what they think we could expect out of the property. Somewhere in the mid-2s to maybe mid-3s. While they say per square foot, they should be worth $500,000 or $600,000, but they don't believe that's possible in our community for what restrictions we put.
One thing I was wondering about, you have 2 pieces of property.
Yeah.
Are we selling both pieces?
Yes, because of the parking. That's an enhancement to that property.
Well, Dan, have you worked with any of these?
Personally, no.
But you met with them?
I met 2 of the 4. I met with the Rock personally. Connie was there. We did not take a meeting with Mr. Ryan Myers, that's Bennett Williams. I just discussed it with him because he was familiar with the property, he didn't have to visit. And the young lady here, Karen, she was unable to do that due to a family crisis. She lost an aunt. Part end was her I can't get out the tricks right. Executrix.
She wants to start it higher than the others.
She did. If you want to know my favorite, I'll give it to you.
Go ahead.
I think that Rock is my favorite. They seem to be the most realistic. I think they have the most assets to pursue a vendor. They're more expensive, but they're also something else that's a little different in the realty world. These guys are employees. They are not independents. They're very different in the industry. Okay? They earn a salary. They get paid whether they sell it or don't, and their interest is selling. They still get rewards. Don't hear that wrong.
Well, I thought most of the properties that I've seen go up for sale has a great big Rock sign on it.
Yeah.
And actually, I did think they had this originally.
They did not.
Bennett Williams
I
had it.
was, pardon?
Bennett Williams had it.
Yeah, but in my head, somehow or another, I thought it was Rock. So, at least I know that Rock has sold property around it. But I do know that they had this property up for sale and it didn't go. And the big housing thing down by the Ball Diamond, weren't they Rock for a while?
They have one up there behind.
I don't know, but those are different kinds of properties. I'm just saying, I think they know our population. That's what I'm.
Yeah. Well,
Out
and
of the 3, I am not a fan of the smaller company only because they're not based out of anywhere around here. They're based out of Camp Hill. I feel they may not know what the local businesses or places that we could advertise to. I have opinions on another local place we could try, but that's not any of them.
I'm not, I'm open to anybody that's, you know, but I'd be looking for equal experience to this type of thing. And I pursued this one as a third, because my fourth, which was my third, said, no, I can't do it.
So you want her to tell you the name and you
Sure,
do it?
yeah.
The people that we bought our house from was called Small Town Agents. They're out of Hanover.
Are they commercial though?
They're, I don't know, they're
See.
probably more residential.
Yeah, let me, see, here, you don't have this, unfortunately,
Oh, it's okay.
but
I mean, and it doesn't,
No.
you know,
I want you to understand, I want everybody to understand why it's different. I am a realtor, in case you guys, I have to tell you that. So, I am not involved with the sale in any manner, shape, or form. I have nothing to gain, nor will I. But what we've got with the commercial is most agents use a thing called MLS, okay? And you're probably familiar with that, because that's a very public thing. And these are the comparables. I'll let you look through this. You can't pass it around. I was hoping we'd get another copy, but we don't. But they're also gonna be using 3 or 4 specifically toned towards commercial properties listings of that same nature. Most homeowners do not subscribe to those services. They're expensive and they're very focused, so that they're not worth much to them. So I can act, you know, anyone can sell commercial property. But you know how long these commercial property sales signs are up, don't you? Everybody sees these for a very long time. This is not gonna be a quick thing.
Which is why I'm thinking, sitting here thinking and listening to what you're saying, is that if we could pick a realtor now, tonight, that gets it started.
Yes.
A month before, next month, if we pick one then.
And we'll have them in here next month to do their presentation, give them our concerns, set those, limits on the deed that we want, okay, and move forward. And like I said, I thought that was important that you understand that there's a big difference between these focused, and those focused guys, they're not gonna sell your house.
So, may I ask Todd, the previous real estate person, did you talk with them? Cause I'd heard there were other people to talk with.
Yeah.
What did you find out from them?
When I have a business relationship with the owner of Bennett Williams. His name's Robert Baylor, and I know several of the agents. They happen to be the realtor, or realtor on the books for the bank, People's Bank. Now, I had nothing to do with it when Orrstown engaged them. Orrstown engaged them directly, and Orrstown didn't listen to them with regards to pricing it. And they come out and said what they wanted to ask for. They were asking $525,000 for it. Now, they only had it for sale for the contract out for 8 weeks, because they listed it right after the bank closed November the 7th. I think they listed it the following week. They took it off the market though, at the end of January, because Orrstown was hoping that the borough would take it.
Which we did.
Which you did. In that time period, they had 3 people interested, lots of calls, 3 people interested. The max was, I think he said $250,000. It was nowhere near the 525, you know, but he said it was active. It's active.
Okay.
But that's my knowledge of Bennett Williams. Again, I'm familiar with them because they were our realtor of record at the bank for many years.
Well, to
Thank
me,
you.
we've got 2 good choices.
Yes.
Rock
You do.
or Bennett Wood.
Like I said, they're both viable. There's no, yeah. And I agree with you with the third one. There's not as much power. Let's just put it that way.
See, what I'm pondering is Rock sells a lot of property in our area. Bennett Williams has already reached out to people and has people who reached out to them. Having that experience, those connections, might be beneficial to us, being the seller.
Let me put it this way. It's still gonna be beneficial whether we pick them as a listing agent or not.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Listing agent is just the person that we work with. Doesn't mean that another agent isn't gonna sell it.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, so
I'm
that's
just
what I'm saying, we're
the
not necessarily,
experience and
even if.
knowledge is there.
Yeah, and, just what I'm saying, you know, we're not necessarily losing that either.
Okay.
Because Bennett, if they have that property up and they know somebody that wants to buy it, to their benefit, sell it to them.
And then if Rock puts it up, Bennett's gonna bring their person that could be interested right over to them.
And it's just a matter of splitting commission.
A buyer's agent or a seller's agent.
Well, you said Rock was a little more expensive,
They are,
more expensive than Bennett Williams.
I believe, well, you'd have to review every bit of their proposals here, and we would go through that, and we can,
Might not be
I
worth
can,
it.
right, it's 6 to 7, you know, it's 6 or 7%, and I'm gonna tell you what everybody knows. Any percentage is negotiable. If I go back to Rock and say, we're only willing to pay 6, they may take it. Okay, so.
Does anybody else have an opinion on that? I mean, speak up.
Either one, I mean, like I said, they're both pretty comparable, I feel like it would just be more of somebody, yeah, doesn't, anybody else had any experience with either of these, but I never have.
What are you thinking? You always sit there and think, you don't tell us.
Well, I do wanna ask a question, are we, like, I mean, obviously extra parking is important for selling the building, but also too, is it definitely going to help sell it, being it does already have private parking, and us maintain that parking lot for public parking for residents?
I might be able to help answer that. That's when the renovations were done the last time, that's one of the reasons why we had to buy the property across the alley, to give enough parking for the square footage then of the building. So, and that was all zoning requirements at that particular point in time. There wasn't enough parking in the rear in order to incorporate the size of the building at that
Okay.
point.
Alright, that makes sense.
And I don't think the zoning was changed, I wouldn't think, since the early 80s on that.
Do you have an opinion? I feel like you have an opinion.
I think we should just hire whoever's best fit to sell the building.
Do you have a preference of the two?
No. I mean, they're all the same, especially when it comes to commercial.
There's not a lot of choices.
Yeah. I've seen both names a lot, so obviously both names been around.
And, you know, while I don't know anything personally, scuttlebutt is that Bennett Williams is, but I don't know. That's scuttlebutt.
I don't know what
Bullshit.
that means.
That they're, a lot of their older people have left and gone independent and that type of thing, and
Well,
they're
a lot
not
of them
what
were-
they were.
And a lot of them retired too.
Yeah, and they're not, whatever, they're saying they're not what they were.
I think their top 7.
That's not coming from Rock either.
Their top 7 producers are still on board now.
Okay. Thank you. See that? Well, I appreciate that very much. Again,
Well, I think if you put a motion on the table, you probably have enough votes to get it moving forward, so.
yeah,
But he's looking for us to select, aren't you?
I'm trying to have you guys look at, and take as much time as you need, and if you want till next, then that's what we'll do.
I say go with Rock.
I agree.
Alright, yep.
Unanimous consent. Motion carries. We'll get Rock to present in our next meeting, and go through that, and then we will express our concerns and our needs to them as a group.
So we should be thinking about that.
Yes, we should. And at that point, we will get those concerns, and I will personally take it on from there to make sure that concerns are addressed correctly, so that we don't have to wait for every meeting, and, you know, make it work.
I have a stupid question, and I can ask the realtors this too next time, but does it carry more weight for a realtor to reach out to a local company that might be interested, or like a resident to reach out? Like, or both?
I'm not following the question.
Like,
maybe,
I
right?
have ideas who I think would be good to buy that building.
Yeah.
So should I reach out to them, or should I have the realtor reach out to them?
You could certainly reach out to them. Again, you know, there's nothing holding you back from that.
Yeah.
You can do that, but you can also, you know, if you have somebody or some group or whatever in mind, the realtor can certainly reach out to them. They will be sending out letters.
Okay.
And
I mean, I
using
figure
their
if we're
contacts.
paying them, they can do the work for us.
Yes,
Unless,
that's what we pay that
Typically,
commission
you
for.
wanna give the referral to the realtor that's gonna sell it. If you have somebody that's interested in buying it, give that over to them and let them do all the legwork
I don't
to
have
sell it.
anybody, to be clear, I just have delusions in my head.
That's typically how it would work.
So if you wanted to help out a realtor friend that you have used in the past, then tell them those ideas,
Sure.
and they'll bring them to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Even
And
your
they'll get a
railroad
commission.
friends can do the
Then they get part
buyers.
commission.
Yeah.
I just want a coffee shop in Jefferson.
Gwen's putting on an addition.
We could invest together, you want, that's an option.
You
Talk to my husband.
didn't live here when we had a coffee shop in there, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
5 years.
it didn't last too long.
You know what, I'll keep it in business, okay?
I mean, if you have
Dunkin'
people that
Donuts,
can
then Mike doesn't have
say,
to
"Hey,
drive to
you
Spring
can
Grove to
buy
get
this
coffee.
place." It's a great idea if you give a lead, or you put the idea, you know, you have friends that they own coffee shop. Hey, I know where you can get a nice spot.
Well, some of the ideas that have been kicked around, because there is someplace in New York that is using an old bank as a restaurant. And they have some of their serving areas in the vaults.
They were serving coffee in the wall.
So, you know, it could be a destination. All right, I will pursue, I'm pursuing Rock to present to us next meeting. That's what my understanding is at this point. All right, thank you for putting up with my presentation, appreciate that.
Don't be able to bring the sign from up there down here.
I don't want to, did you actually have a motion for the furniture and equipment thing? Did you need something for that? Okay.
No.
What it needs is muscle.
Yeah.
I just, it was on the list and
We're gonna move the
Okay.
things, I just wanna really make everyone aware of it. We already own it.
okay.
The only money that we might spend on it is if we need
You
help
literally
moving it.
need to move. So I
Right.
thought, I was thinking of it as you need somebody to move it like a motion, but you literally mean take it up and move it. Got it.
You see us walking up the street with a table.
And their conference table that they use is a beautiful conference table, but it's as heavy as a freaking car.
Yep.
It can come apart because it's actually retrofitted, I found out with your dear husband last night. Thursday night.
Thursday.
Okay. Where are we at here? All
I
right,
have
so we got the
questions
progress.
about this H&H bill.
Go ahead, something?
I mean, I don't see it on here, but it's repairs for the square. Are we going to
Oh,
have company?
we don't have it yet.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
What?
under, it's under,
I thought you didn't get that.
no, it's under, I did get it.
I know, I was looking at it.
It's under the, building sidewalks on this
Are we going to have a company come in and do that?
Yes, but I was unaware that we actually received, last time I heard, we didn't have the brochure. I apologize.
Well, the prices are low enough, we're not required to have 3
No, we're not paying for it anyways.
Right.
It's passed.
Yeah.
Right.
There you are. Yeah.
Well, you're not 5 cents.
And Mike was saying, that it's the metal pieces on the post, that company's going out of business.
The company that's selling them, probably you can get them from online.
We're talking about the flag stand. Yes?
Yeah, the little flag
Yeah.
things that hang on.
Yeah, and do you think we should, get a bunch of those, for future? That's what I'm asking.
I see no problem in doing that. We just ordered a bunch of, actually bought, a number of new ballards, I think 14.
What?
14 new ballards for stock.
Not
The
yet.
wood,
But yeah.
We ordered.
the wood,
Yeah.
yeah, good,
Having extra of those.
yeah.
Okay, well, we can, put this up for motion, I suppose. Apologize, didn't realize you had it.
I'll move that we have H&H do the repair on this circle, which is an ellipse, it's not a circle.
Second.
All right, the motion has been made to take H&X's, repair proposal as is. And it's been motioned and seconded. Any questions, follow-ups?
You said we're not paying for it, this is through insurance?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, we're paying for it up front.
Yeah, and then insurance will.
Reimburse. In the meantime, this is not their only fees. Mike's time, her time gets charged to this. Time we took to get these estimates, et cetera, are all listed out for this as well. Not just this.
And hopefully camera
And
time.
I will be looking into whether we can charge them a camera fee before it goes out.
You should be able to figure out how much that would be.
Right, let me see, yeah,
Good.
If we're allowed to charge for it.
Okay, any other questions? Comments? All those in favor of accepting H&H General Excavating's proposal? Say
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Borough correspondence. Any correspondence?
Got public comments.
Oh, whoops, I did. Aye. That's that. All right, back to public comment. Thank you.
Mr. President, do you say if you spoke first, you can't speak second?
No, you
I have 1 minute and 40 seconds left, can I take that?
can take another 5. This is
No,
another
I just need-
session.
I just need one.
And all I meant is that you just needed to give it the turn.
I just want 40. Tom Jr. here again. Evening's getting late. First of all, masterful job by the mayor to get Dan to do an animated version of what a town crier is. That was classic.
You knew what it was, right?
I did do it. 2 things real quick. If you look at the farm Facebook page, you'll see a really great picture of a nebula that my nephew took. That's 3,800 light years away. The reason I mentioned that was we talk about all this codes review and ordinance review is, I mentioned it once before about thinking in the future about dark skies. If you come through Old Forge at 116 and 516, they put 3 brand new lights on the front of the old gas station and you're completely blinded. Anybody that has low vision is gonna ride right off the road. So I'd ask that in the future as we build on the developments or future, especially public buildings, that you think about downward facing lights. If you fly in an airplane, an airliner, look down at towns, you'll see bright blobs of light where they don't have dark skies regulations. And the developments they do, all the lights focus down. It saves money, makes the light brighter, and it doesn't waste what we have in Jefferson where you can see that picture was taken right in the bottom of the farm hill. It's an absolutely incredible picture. It's still pretty dark here, he said. And my nephew travels to Cherry Springs in West Virginia. He knows what dark skies are. So it hasn't been ruined here yet. Just think about that in the future, please. And last but not least, any time in the future, I ask that if the town's gonna have names or accept names of this new development, I ask you, I beg with you, I plead with you, since you do, as the council, have the final say on the town names, that you give some thought to the names. Don't let a developer just name it after his baby niece and nephew somewhere in Connecticut. We have a lot of historic people here, our Frederick Kraft name, the Lincoln Railway name, that you think about for final approval, or pushing the developers to let you name the names, so we don't have a million random trees that don't even grow in Jefferson, and we can assign some of the new streets in the future to many of the historic people that have been here. There's even some carnival type workers and things, the Bill Centers of the world and the Garmins of the years past. I think it'd be a far better name than just naming it after random bushes and trees or letting a developer pick that. So that ties in with your ordinance review. It'd be kind of neat if we have these new roads coming up, if they're gonna be here, that they have some name, since the development will be literally a couple 100 feet from where Lincoln rode through town on his train to go to give the Gettysburg Address. That is my 1 minute and 40 seconds. Thank you, Mr. President. Have a safe drive home, everybody. Take your beans.
Public service announcement. This coming Saturday, Frank didn't mention it, but the fire hall will be serving food at the Lions Club bingo.
I was gonna ask if there was gonna be food, Dave, so thank you for.
Yes, you can buy.
Yes, yeah.
That's why the doors open at 12,
Well.
so that you can eat before the bingo starts at 1.
Now I know.
And you don't need a ticket to go in and buy food.
That's
I
right.
just got called before it come to help.
And when the Lions Club started that process, it was a Longaberger baskets that they had. You know, that, and Longaberger's out of business. We charged $10 to get in to do the bingo. And there's, you know, it's the same as 20, and then if you don't win one of those 20, there's an extra one, a 21st one for you. But if you know that you want to go, or you know somebody that wants to go with you, I have a couple tickets left, and Dan probably has some tickets left. No, you got them sold
I
on.
thought there were only 3 left.
That's
In the
what
newsletter
email
today.
said.
I still have some.
Oh, okay.
You know, I had somebody that I thought was going to take them, and
Yeah.
so they haven't gotten. So if you want a ticket, $10, get in, and you only need the $10 to get in, and then they'll sell you some more if you
Oh, yeah, all
want
kinds
more
of
than
raffles
one
going on.
string of tickets. So, okay.
I saw a bunch of ladies eat so many chicken fingers.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of food sold.
All right, I'm looking forward to it.
Anything else from the public? Okay. Borough correspondence, nothing else besides, what do we have? PSAB info. I'm also gonna make available to you some newer information that's come in through my public meetings on raising chickens, et cetera, that you can all be privy to.
When do you need the info for PSAB? Oh, like when we have to let Connie know if we wanna go, or do we let her know?
To the Hershey one?
Yeah,
I believe I need to know by April something.
That also cut off for hotel.
April 24th?
Early bird registration, April 24th.
Yeah,
Seen?
yep.
Okay.
And there's a list of conferences, et cetera. All right, and call to your attention that you've got council president's hours below, tax sitters below, and also on the agenda is the listing of all the borough agencies, commissions, et cetera, dates of meetings. If there's nothing else, we have come to the end of the agenda.
I moved to adjourn.
So moved. Have to get an approval.
It's unanimous, so.